name is Rocky Lai. I'm originally from Taipei, Taiwan. I reside in Sugar Land, Texas since 1988. We were attracted to Sugar Land because of the superb communities and with the superb school districts. And we have many friends that are also living here, and that's the reason we reside in Sugar Land in 1988. When we moved down to Sugar Land, one of the reasons is that we were attracted to the amenities and the well-planned city by the city of Sugar Land. The city of Sugar Land has a zoning, and majority of them are master plans, and our children growing here with a park, recreations, and many other fine places that we can visit over the weekends. That's one reason attract us to come to Fort Bend County. I think I start knowing Sugar Land property is when they are developing under Heinz property for first colonies. And at that time, in the late 80s, early 90s, that's the most advanced and modern master plan community in Sugar Land, Fort Bend County. I came to know Charlie Howard since he's our local community leader and very involved in the communities. And subsequently, I have knowing Les Newton, and I remember Glenn Howard that are in charge of mostly residential developments. And of course, I met their in-house attorney, Carl Fabriet, and we'll become good friends and also good business associates. I'm a primary real estate investor. At that time, I recommend many of our friends and associates that moving to Sugar Land, mostly in first colony. Sugar Land property has developed first-class modern communities where many of our friends that are referred to that lives in the communities. That's how I start getting to know them. In 1995, one of our good dear family friends, Mr. Tan Yu, he's a billionaire in Asia, and he came to Houston starting in 1994, secretly having a kidney transplant and have it recovering here in Houston. And because of our common family friends, I become the host and hosting them in the city of Houston. Initially, they rented a house in the memorial areas in 1994. That was a time that his recovery was a little bit challenging. So he concerned that the home may not be a good feng shui in the Chinese perspective, good synergy for him. So at that time, I have recommend one of our dear friend and business partner, Larry, that he has a house in Sweetwater in the market for a year, haven't been sold. So I recommended maybe whether he would be considered to lease that house for Mr. Tan Yu to live for a year, and he was very generous and glad to do that. So we moved Mr. Tan Yu into that house in Sweetwater. And since then, his recovery was very successful and speedy. And since then, he started falling in love with Sugar Land and First Colony. So every day we drive in and out through the community, and he loved the planning, the esplanades, the greenery, the nature reserves. So one day he was asking me, Rocky, are those vacant lots available to be acquired? Well, in Texas, everything could be possibly for sale. So since I know Les and Carl and Glenn Howard, I called for a meeting with them, and we work it out. We end up buying their balance of the custom home lots. I would say most of the home lots along the Palm Royal Boulevard, and also with another probably 60 plus of the custom home developed vacant lots that we have subsequently acquired from them in 1995. They set the presence of in the First Colony. That's the only largest estate lot reserve for the entire 10,000 acres of First Colony. So in our minds, that to be the who's who and the known prestigious streets in the future. Certainly in the 1995 Houston economy is still very challenging. However, according to Mr. Tan Yu, he can never be able to replace the proximity and the locations of that street. So we have every confidence we know eventually all those homes will be multi-million dollars. But certainly we will never imagine in today's Palm Royale, every home are mostly close to $10 million or above. I think that we don't really set up any minimum required, but the average starting, I would say probably $7 square feet, livable square feet, up to currently, I believe the largest home is about 18,000 square feet. I would say the current home's value right now is probably minimum $5 million all the way up to maybe $18 million or $20 million. I think throughout the 20 plus residents live on Palm Royale, maybe it end up maybe 2 or 3 homes that I recall that have changed ownership. So it's still the first residents who build their dream house there and they continue living theirs. And I think the people from various, we have investment bankers, we have successful couple that are doctors, we have various of business enterprising people that are owner of the business, and it's just very diverse. And majority of them are still happy and still living there. In 1995, when we acquired those lots, Palm Royale was designed to be mostly planted with palm. That's why it's named for Palm Royales. I recall we went through a couple of series of cold front coming in, and as palm was not suitable for extremely cold weather conditions, I think some of them, a large palm was subsequently removed. So today we still see some palm, but we hardly see any mature large palm. But it used to be in the 90s. That was the street was supposed to design as all palms. I would say, the city of Sugar Land did a great job of city planning, and certainly developers are the pioneers and prominent and exuberant, making sure that the development are successful. So I pay tribute to Mr. Hines of the Hines organization, certainly First Colony, the Sugar Land Plain Developments, Les Newton, Glenn Howard, and of course our infamous Carl Fairview that set up a great covenant restriction for the community, and as we have all enjoyed today.